Hey, what's up, people? Uh, Tonight's going to be different. It's just going to be kind of a Q&A since I don't have didn't have anything planned, and I've got so much going on. Normal YouTube videos being filmed. Uh, Started expanding on the facade, filming that video. So that stuff's coming up. There's lots of stuff coming up, but I've got to work on another video. And I figured while I was working on this other video, we could go live and I could answer questions and all that kind of junk. So, anyway, it's going to be weird for a moment. I'm going to flip the computer around so I can kind of see comments, but I'm getting ready to film a little section of this video, which is going to be boring for you guys, but you get to see how I kind of put some things together. So, yeah, let me get this done so I can start working on other stuff and get myself back over here. But anyway, what's up? Whoever's here, I see two of you. Glad you're here. But I've got to film this stuff out real quick. That's going to be tonight's deal. You can see what I'm doing here. I'm just staging junk up. It's a lot of work making YouTube videos. If you try to do anything halfway interesting with them, anyway. So basically, this is for some stop motion junk for this next video. For a part of the video when I start filming. So anyway, yeah, this is how all this good happy stuff works, right? Any of that kind of stop motion, throw in junk. It's put something down, wait a little bit, put in another one. You know, sit and wait while the camera catches all of it, so I can go back and edit all of it later on. Hope everybody's had a good holiday weekend. Ours is pretty decent. Not that we really did anything. We actually really didn't do anything. Besides, I took funds finally from Patreon and ran up and bought materials for expanding the facade. And truly, this year without Patreon stuff, this whole deal would have never came about. Which is really weird. I don't know. Tried to do HVAC, and I basically have my own business. I got kind of thrown into it. I don't really like it, but that's beside the point. But this year was weird. This is the hottest summer we've ever had, and this is the slowest my business has ever been. Really strange. I don't know. There's some big boys, some bigger companies around here. I don't know if they did some kind of advertising for cheap service calls or something. I don't know. All I can tell you is my phone didn't ring. Down to one viewer. Q&A, people. Anybody got questions? Questions about how to, I see this in Facebook land all the time. How to weatherproof your paper mache or anything like that. I see a bunch of people who say that you can't put this stuff out in the rain. That always cracks me up when I see that. Obviously, they know something I don't know because past 15, 16 years, all I've done is put my mache out in the rain. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 18. That's right, 18, because 2 of them popped. And I'm not making any more. Barely going to get these done in time. Back to 2 viewers. Who's here? They got people viewing, no one chatting, no one saying anything. What's going on? It wouldn't be a big deal if I had some kind of story to tell. If I was that kind of a podcast type of thing or something, you know, talking about what's new in the haunt industry, but I don't keep up on any of that. I can tell you this, guys, this much though. Let me get this shut off. That should be the last of it. Okay. Good there. So we can move this back around over here. Hello. You filming again? Don't film. Thank you. My Home Depot. Start off with about 3 of these. My Home Depot finally, this last week, is crazy, right? I mean, good for me that I don't buy Halloween props, that I make all of them. What's up? XS Lacey. Thank God I don't. There's times like I've eyeballed that 12-foot skeleton a bunch of times. But man, he's $300. Holy cow. I spent a little over $300 in materials to extend this facade, and I think it's going to put more of a punch on Halloween. But anyway, so my Home Depot didn't get any Halloween stuff out until, well, let's see, it was Wednesday. So Wednesday I had to go get some supplies for another job I was doing, and they finally got all their stuff out. So they had their 12-foot skelly out there. They had their witch, you know, tombstones. They had, of course, normal skellies and stuff. They got like a boogeyman thing that's kind of neat looking. They had quite a few stuff. They had a I gotta get this other camera. Bear with me, guys, because if you guys are asking questions, which we're going to be, hopefully, you guys are going to be asking questions. I am currently working. I'm filming a video. I'm working on a video, which is going to not be fun because I got this shirt on, so I have a unhinged shirt. But anyway, I'm working on a video for YouTube while we're doing this live talking to you guys. But so bear with me. I got to get this. Let's time lapse that. Okay, boom. Oh yes, back on Home Depot. So Wednesday they put all their stuff out. Like nothing was out. Like I was even questioning whether or not my Home Depot was going to have any Halloween stuff. So Wednesday they put their Halloween stuff out. I took just a little bit of a look at it while I was out. They didn't have a lot of time, but they had 12-foot skelly, and they had this witch and some, you know, quite a few different things. And then Wednesday it went out. So then Thursday, no. Back that train up. Incorrect. I started this job that I was doing on Tuesday, Wednesday. So it was Thursday. It was Thursday when I went to go. I had to go pick up a few odds and ends for that job. So it was Thursday that they finally had everything out. And then, so then we had all Friday. I didn't go back up to Joplin on Friday. And then Saturday, we went up to get supplies to start the facade because I'm making the facade bigger. That's all. Once again, thanks to all the patrons because they're the ones that are making that happen. Without them, it wouldn't be happening. But anyway, so we went up Saturday to get that. And when we got to Home Depot, like I've never seen this before. Because Carrie wanted to look at just some Halloween stuff, and we had gone to like a couple of hobby stores first, just to kind of browse their stuff. I didn't have any money. I'm real broke right now. I don't have any money to buy anything. But it's always fun to window shop, right? Hello, Cole. Is it Cole? Cole? Anyway, I probably butchered your name. But we went ahead and ran up there, checked stuff out. When we got to Home Depot, so literally it was Thursday morning. They had all their stuff out. So then they had Friday and then Saturday. So really, their stuff had only been out. By the time we got up there Saturday, I would say not even a total of 2 full business days that they had their Halloween stuff out. And dude, when we went in Saturday, it was all gone. Like 85% of everything was gone. The 12-foot skelly that they had in display gone because they sold all the rest of their obviously the ones in the box. They had these witches gone. Like they sold everything. The only thing left on display was like this boogeyman deal and a couple other smaller things, and that was it. Like I was super surprised at how fast all that stuff went. It's a good thing that I don't rely on buying that stuff. One, because I didn't have the money this year. And two, you can see all that stuff in everybody else's yard. At this yard, you can't see the stuff that's out there because it's all made right here. But anyhow, I was just surprised. I was surprised at how fast it went. I've always kind of watched the Halloween stuff at Lowe's and Home Depot when it comes in, and Joplin's a fairly good size town, but it's not like real big. But it went. I've never seen them go that fast. Never seen them go that fast. Hey, what's up, Drac? Yeah. So anyway, I'm currently working on that I'm filming. Let's move this down here. Yes, I started a video a while back, see how many pumpkins I could make in a month's time. So I'm working on it. It's only going to be 18. I blew up. Originally, I started with 20. I lost 2 of them. I'm not going to try to redo those 2. So it's going to be 18. It's going to be total 18. That's it. And it could probably be more if I wasn't doing, well, if I wasn't building the facade and if I wasn't working on that thing. And last 2 weeks we did these around. I'll show you in a minute. We did some reapers, some beer bottle reapers on with patrons. That was fun. So we did an actual build along class. Oh my gosh, my hand can't fit in there. And who texted me? It's Carrie. Busy, man, busy. This extension on this facade is going to be pretty cool. That original facade that I did last year, like the center part with the door and stuff was, well, before the roof line hit, it's 14 foot tall. And then two lower sections were 12 foot tall, but then you had like this false roof I put on top. So anyway, coming off of that and then heading across the house, I'm trying to cover up the house, which isn't going to completely cover it up. I'm going another. I got enough stuff going another 12 foot out, and then that's going to be 8 foot tall, so it's going to have some dimensions, right? We're going to be like 14 foot, 12 foot, then 8 foot, and that's going to have a roof on it. And then I looked at some pictures on the internet, and I like those old school kind of haunted houses that have like the bay windows that come out, that kind of come out like a 45 and 45 and 45, and they got those big windows all the way around, right? Big window, big good, and then up top too in their second floor. So that's going to be the extension of this facade that I'm working on, and I started on it late, so I started on this weekend. Yeah, and it's September, so it's gonna be busting butt to get that facade done between now and Halloween. So look for that on YouTube, because this weekend I will do a video that shows all the stuff that I did to start that, and then this is basically just going to be a progression type thing with that video. Then these pumpkins, I'm just going to jam these things out. I'm not even going to use typical toilet paper clay. I'm just going to use 8 carton clay, which is easier to make, but it's better for bulking. It doesn't really hold detail, but I mean, pumpkins, you don't have to have a whole lot of crazy detail in it, so that'll work. Hey, what's up, Lloyd? Glad to see you here. Dude, it's not Pumpkinhead. Bro, Pumpkinhead's done. He's done, right? He's got to get, I need to paint that base or whatever, but that project's over. Finished, done. I might work on the base in my spare time. And what needs to happen though now, over here, see that dead space in the wall over there? So I need to build a couple shelves over there, and then I need to put like a Pumpkinhead dude over there, and then like this Rum Reaper, I need to put that over there. Just different. And I just put this camera in the middle of the camera that I'm trying to film this. Boy, this is going to be rough. Trying to pay attention to you guys and not getting the camera's view of this YouTube video I'm putting together. Fun stuff. But that's okay, because everything I'm doing tonight, as far as that video goes, this is all B-roll junk. Very cool. Hello. I have seen your videos. Mary says, hello, I've seen your videos, and this is the first time, right? Well, I am glad you're writing in and commenting. And thank you. She says she does well. Well, I appreciate that. I am glad that you watch the videos and comment. As far as that stuff goes, on the YouTube side of things and the other videos, when you guys watch those, like if you hit the like button, that helps out a lot. Like, I'm going to constantly promote Patreon all the time. That helps me out the biggest financially to keep this YouTube channel alive, because AdSense just is like a whole lot of nothing. But for those of you that aren't doing Patreon stuff like that, if you hit that like button and you leave comments and things like that, well, that really helps the old algorithm out too. That lets the algorithm know that people are enjoying the content. So I'll ask you guys this. I don't know how many we got on. We got 4 people that are still here. Dude, I am not. No. Yeah, Drac, add some peanuts, bro. Lloyd, I am not. This is not an alien pod. I'm not doing the alien queen. It's not happening. Not right now. So that's what I'm turning, like, these Monday Night Lives anymore are going to be like more like question and answer type of thing. Or if I'm actually working on some projects that need to get done, I think that's basically going to be it. And then I might take some if there's something like someone was talking about making a slimer or whatever. Some of those fun things we might do. But as for actual build-alongs, like sending out a material list, you guys gather and then we're going to build it live together. I am saving that for the patrons, because we can do that. And then I've got a core group of people in there that really want to learn, really want to do something, and I need to give them that type of attention. Right. So, no, it can't be, Lloyd. It's not going to be. These are pumpkins. These are all little pumpkins. I got like 18 of them. I have fun. Sometimes I don't do this, but a lot of times, I'll cut the top. I cut the top off, inverted that, and then put it back in. I hot glued it and then taped it. I'm probably going to throw a little strip mache over it just to strengthen it or whatever. Then when I clay this up, it already has a natural dip inside here, so it's easier. It looks better when you're sculpting out your pumpkin. So I enjoy doing that. Sometimes I don't. I think a couple of these, I might leave that one alone. It's not too rounded on top. I think I'm going to, because I'm going to do all these like different. There's 18 of them, right? And I'm making a YouTube video out of it, so they need to be kind of different. They all can't be the same. They just can't be the same. Anyway, before I got ranting and raving about money and Patreon and that type of junk, for those of you that are here and have been around for the years, I don't know how many of you guys have been around forever. Like, I started doing this YouTube channel back in, oh my gosh, when was that? I would even have to go back and look. It's been a good 10 or 12 years. Anyway, the original videos were more of a straight-laced style tutorial type of thing. Then I kind of rolled into, as I was making projects, doing these videos that were like a weekly progression type of a thing. It's like, hey, I started this new, whatever, zombie groundbreaker, and this week I got XYZ done and showed you how I did it or whatever. And then the next week, whatever. Then I started holding off, trying to do a complete, waiting until it was all completed and releasing it all at once. And then here lately, I've done these videos that have more humor in them with the voices and all that stuff, where if you do mache and you do this stuff and you kind of watch, you may be able to probably figure out how to do it. But if you're new to this stuff, you're probably not going to be able to figure it out. All that long stuff being said, any of you guys that have been around for a while, what style video did you prefer, or do you prefer? I'm honestly curious to know. I'll give you guys a quick tip while we're on here, though. One, this probably should have been thicker, but I'm rushing it. I'm still going to put clay on it. I don't think it'll cave in on me. If it does, I'm going to get a rotten pumpkin. But if you do carve out your bottom side and you don't have any stuff in here, and this is nice and strong, when you put your clay on, and then if you set this on top of a like a cookie rack, whatever, since you got air going inside here and then you got the air on the outside, your clay will dry like way faster, way faster. If anybody was interested in that kind of a tip, there you go. There's a tip. Let's fatten this guy out a little bit. We'll squat this little dude down. Let's put that back on here and make this a bigger. Yeah, buddy, that'll work. Yeah, so today I've been outside all morning long. I've got that facade consists of 4 4x6 panels, 3 4x8 panels, 2 2x8 panels, 3 4x4 panels, and 2 2x4 panels. So yeah, I spent all day long building panels and getting all those things together. So all the panels are together now. Now I've got to kind of put the panels together, mock it all up, and get everything drilled out for my bolts and stuff. So for my tear down and put back together. Oh, this thing's way too weak. This one could be a problem. Anyway, I got to get that together, get that mocked up, and then I got to get it skinned. Get it skinned so we can start shaving in the siding. That last year was the first year I've ever done anything as crazy big as that facade. To date, that's probably been my favorite project because it made such a difference in the yard. Like, I've spent time building cool props that just look absolutely awesome, and then you kind of stick them out in the yard, and without any kind of real theming behind it, man, the prop just gets lost and the impact of the prop goes away. Boy, you put a facade up there and that creates some serious impact. You could almost have no props, still get away with it. Man, this balloon does not want to let go. I think once I get past all this craziness of Halloween, because like right now everything's ramped up, I got so much going on. But once all that's done, then I'm going to do a giveaway. I'm going to do a pumpkin giveaway, and it's going to be patron, and then it's going to be all you guys that have done super chats on here. Just a way to say thanks. Come on, let loose. Man, I tell you, this is the struggle sometimes. Sometimes these old balloons just rip right out of here. Nice and easy. And sometimes they do not. I seen Wicked Makers had a new video up this weekend. They converted a what was it? Spirit Halloween jumping spider to a. They had a video game sponsor thing, to this pretty crazy looking crystal spider thing. They did a pretty good job with it. I mean, it looked really cool. I think the mech works a little slower. I think it's heavier when they ride it on, but it's still pretty neat. And I seen that Jordan with my flipping life, yeah, my flipping life. He put out a couple of videos. He's put out 2 or 3 videos, little update videos in his yard and stuff. This past week, I saw Lloyd. You put up a video not too long ago of was it Spirit or something? It was a Halloween sales somewhere. I think it was Spirit. You and both Keith's done a couple. He was just released one that was Walmart, I think. Walmart Halloween stuff. Who else in the hot world has put out some videos? Steve's Haunted Yard, he put one out the other day too. I miss everybody being on YouTube, man. This was the time of year when all the haunters that were really out there, Diablo, all those guys, everybody was making props, man. Every week, this time of year, everybody was hot building. And then, like every weekend, someone had a video and they were just updating on what they've been working on and stuff. That type of stuff is fun. Oh, I'm gonna have to go. Gosh dang it. Spirit and Home Depot, right on. I haven't even seen, but I haven't paid attention. But still, that being said, I've been running around Joplin enough. I don't think there is a Spirit this year in Joplin. We usually I haven't been in the mall lately, so that's a possibility. The last couple of years, they've been in the mall. And Carrie used to work a second job in the mall, so she kind of was up on that. She's not doing that anymore, so they could be in the mall. Where did my drink go? Are you kidding me? Oh, I found it. I found it. Broke my glasses today too, so I got these other pair on, and they don't work quite as well as the other ones did. So I'm about half blind. Hello, Mr. Pumpkin. You know who I haven't seen on YouTube lately is Monster Tutorials. I haven't seen anything new from him in a while. Hope he's okay. But I get it, man. I mean, I know he was pushing too, trying to really grow the channel and live the dream, which is what I think most creative Halloween guys have, that goal, that dream of being able to pay their bills by doing what they love. So I know he was pushing. Rosani, how are you? I hope you had a good Labor Day. Mine was good so far. I've been making facade stuff, but I know he was pushing pretty hard on his channel and stuff. I hope he didn't give up. It is a it's a road. Trying to do this is just a road you got to keep beating down, unless you're like doing all this weird, crazy stuff that all these other people are doing just to grab attention. And I don't like doing that type of junk. I mean, I do stuff to grab attention, like the funny videos or whatever, being the giver, trying to just do things to keep people more interested in, right? Even like this, I debate whether I should do lives at all, because my lives, there's nothing real entertaining in it. And I wonder if it hurts the YouTube channel. I mean, I don't know. Um, but all that being said, I'd rather the following that I have be people who are like genuine and kind of want to learn something and be here or whatever, versus just that short attention span. I need, you know, action, 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 action all the time. Okay, I don't need to film any more of that. That's plenty of that stuff. Because there is no way I'm going to make that next set of tutorials where people got to sit through me cutting all that up. But I am going to. Let's turn this around. Oh, crud. And we will put this back together like it's a time-lapse thing. All right, hang on. I got more of this to kind of put back in spots. If you're, this is rough. I'm trying to be with you guys and doing this, but if you're not thinking about your video and like what your next few shots are going to be and stuff, it can get kind of dull. And stop filming. Okay. Dude, my Carrie saw this. I don't know if it was on. I can't remember if it was on. Let's just chat. You know what? Who cares? I don't remember if it was on a TikTok thing or something, but she was like, "Babe, did you know that your office chairs that um, shock at gas piston can explode?" And she was talking about a 14-year-old who had passed away from it or whatever. I guess there'd been like 3 or 4 deals, like in China or something. I don't know. We kind of went in a rabbit hole for a while of whether or not office chairs could really explode. And I hang on a second. Um, All right, on. Cool. Long break. So we're gonna just continue. I'm just cutting these things down. Anyway, do exploding chairs. That's where we were. Uh, man, I find that hard to believe, and it's just because, like, my background is actually turning wrenches and stuff, right? Like, I worked on cars and stuff for years or whatever, and then worked at a motorcycle shop for years, and I mean, just even old shocks, right? Old shocks are basically just like these gas charged pistons on these seats. These are supposed to be charged with the nitrogen. And shocks, you don't see shocks on trucks and cars, just especially back in the day, blowing up. Some people are saying, oh, they get weak or they got a leak in them or something. They'll start exploding, um, and they're talking like huge explosion, like an explosion that blew up, half the room with it. I don't believe that. I don't think there's any way possible for that to happen. Oh, now I talk about exploding chairs. I'm down to 3 viewers. Everybody ran away. One of my members in my patron community, I think he said they were from South Africa. So um, the week before we did a live class, we made these reproduced out of beer bottle and stuff or whatever. So we did a live build along with that, and then the next Thursday we painted them or whatever. He could be stiffer. Anyway, but one of my patrons had sent me a message. She wasn't going to be able to be there for the painting deal or whatever, but she was telling me, I can't remember the name, but I guess over there that they don't have enough. There's a name for the company that I guess supplies electric for the entire country. And so they don't have enough power to supply the entire country all the time. So they do these rolling brownouts or blackouts or something everybody all the time, where it's like 4 hours out of your day, every day at different times of the day, they have no power. So no lights, no anything. And so she was apologizing because she wasn't going to be able to be on the live, which I felt bad. There's no reason to apologize, but man, that just was like, wow. That would be, we take so much for granted here. That would be such a rough way to live, that knowing that every single day for 4 hours at some point, and they don't ever know, I guess, way ahead of time exactly when. They know a few days ahead of time when it's their turn to have 4 hours off again. That's nuts. So who all is in a big fuss to get ready for Halloween? Or who's started it? Have any of you guys started decorating yet? Like, if I wasn't building the facade, this extra piece of the facade right now, I would probably honestly, I would have probably gone ahead and started setting up. just because it's fun. Man, down to 3, boy. Shouldn't have took last week off. Boy, we consistently used to have 10 to 12. Now we're down to 4. Nobody likes me anymore. Too hot to decorate, Lloyd? Is that what you're saying? I understand that too. It's it's always way more fun to decorate when it's nice and chilly outside. Rosani's used to power outages. Holy cow. No setup for you yet. Come on. The thing, though, I like about... Try to get this out of here. Get out of there. The thing I do like about doing these on the balloon, and I should do some of the beach ball stuff too, because I think it'd be just as smooth. And you kind of get a rounder shape to start with. I don't know if you guys can, but look how, can you guys see? I mean, that's, maybe I shine a light. There, see that? That is so smooth inside there. So then when you paint that white and that being so smooth, and then you throw a light inside that thing later on after it's a jack-o'-lantern, man, it just reflects the light so well. Rosanna, it was pretty windy today. I noticed that. I guess we're supposed to have some rain chances this week. I don't know how. I think starting tomorrow, Wednesday, and Thursday, I think it's like 30% chance or something like that. But I quit looking at my local weather anyway, because it's like my weatherman used to be really good, like really pretty decent, and whatever he was kind of saying was going on, it literally pretty much happened. And now it's just like whatever they say is going to happen, you can almost count on the exact opposite happening. And that gets frustrating. Very frustrating. Weather's been kind of crazy, though. I know, what did I just say? I saw a deal. I can't remember if it was just the other day. I saw on YouTube that I guess Vegas got flooded. Pretty good. And Florida got hit. Oh, who was that? There's a Linda that comes on here. She's from Florida. I hope she's okay. I don't remember which Linda. We got like 3 Lindas that show up. Craig's from Florida too, if I remember right. Hopefully they're all okay. I don't have email addresses or anything for a lot of you guys. I don't have any other way to contact a lot of you, and then some of you guys are on Facebook. Your handles are different on Facebook than on here, and then I don't know who I'm talking to. Maybe I should get like maybe I should do something to get like email addresses from everybody. That way, if those kind of weather events and things go on and you guys are a regular show up, I can at least contact you to try to find out, make sure everything's okay. Are you plugged in? Yeah, so hot. I'm gonna have to buy a new gun, a new glue gun. This thing my parents had when I was a kid. This glue gun is old. And just about tapped out. See that shaking? You see that shaking? That shaking is not because my hand's shaky, it's because I'm squeezing this so hard to get the glue to come out of it. All right, nurse tape. I just had it. This is going to be a whole bunch of repetitive nonsense over and over and over again because I've got 18 pumpkins over there. And I'm just trying to get these prepped for another quick round of strip mache so then they can be ready for clay and faces and all that good stuff. So this is just a lot of the same thing over and over and over and over again. What makes this part enjoyable, if you're actually doing it, oh, let's leave his top. I'm not going to cut his top. We're going to leave his top like that. We're going to cut the bottom out. If you're doing a bunch of these and it's repetitive over and over again, if you're not on YouTube and don't have to worry about copyright strikes, you can sit around and just jam out some music, and pretty much this part doesn't really take any kind of brains. Just go into a nice little trance and make stuff. Hope everybody's feeling good too. Carrie seems to be battling some kind of cold here lately, past couple of days. Boy, this is thin in a couple spots too. Man, that's, you know what? Whatever. That's because I took this on trying to do this. How many pumpkin things can I make? And then there were so many nights that I was up until 1 or 1:30 in the morning laying strip mache on these things. And I just wanted them to be done. That didn't do as many layers in some of these as I should have. And I may pay the penalty for that. Crazy tacos? Crazy tacos. My email address, my actual residence address. And let me know. I don't really care. It's not that I'm worried about anybody finding my address. Let me know what address you're talking about there, Crazy Tacos. You're new. You're new to the chat. I haven't seen a Crazy Tacos on here before. Yeah, Rosani, pumpkins are great because they're easy. Like people ask me a lot, like what I think should be like the first mache project that someone would do, and it's always pumpkins, man. Pumpkins are the easiest thing to make. You can make them so many different ways. Uh, and you can have fun with them. And it is nice to have a bunch of blanks. But these blanks are going to last. I'm going to turn them right into jack lanterns real quick. But they're so easy, and I don't know. To me, they just scream Halloween. But I'm frustrated because there's like a lot of different pumpkin creatures that I wanted to make this year. I got some cool ideas for some wild, twisty, weird pumpkin creatures, and kind of like the big pumpkin demon dude that I made or whatever. But I got these other ideas, and I didn't get any of them built. I've had a lot of people asking for a tutorial on like the pumpkin scarecrow. Like years ago, I did a video called Race to Halloween when I decided to try to build one within a small, short amount of time before Halloween hit. People actually want. So I got like a big list of things that I need to do and make. Uh, it's just finding the time. If this was full time, if I was full time this and nothing else, oh my gosh, I could make so much stuff and so many videos. So the crazy tacos comment's kind of strange since I haven't got a response back. Come off of there. I think next year too, I'm going to play with some more foam. Like I played with one. I want to grab some standard foam blocks, and I got some other ideas for some bigger props to make with that junk. But then two, like I played with the Loctite foam, and that stuff's a whole nother animal. I really like it. You know, like Stilt Beast and those guys use it. Keith uses the hell out of it. He likes it too. Um, it's really crazy what you can do with that stuff after it just gets a little bit tacky, and how much you can actually really kind of mold with it. It's pretty neat. So I think I'm going to I'm going to play with some of that, and I think I'm going to do some pumpkins out of it. See how much I can kind of sculpt with it. I think that could be fun. Okay, that's the bottom. This is going to be my top. So let's cut this out from back here. Yeah, Rosanna. So Rosalie says it can get overwhelming when you have other commitments. That's for sure. She started putting some tutorials on Etsy because it saves time, and once in a while she can get paid for her time. That's awesome. That's absolutely awesome. That's why if you can get paid for, if you can figure out a way to monetize your tutorials, that's absolutely awesome. Because it takes so much time. I mean, to do a good tutorial, really going in depth and explaining that type of stuff, man, you can have 80 hours wrapped up in a decent tutorial real easy. So if you can figure out a way to monetize that, then that's great, because your time's worth money, especially if you can teach someone something. That's why I'm always like, Patreon, man, Patreon, if I can get you over to Patreon, if my time, hopefully my time could be worth a minimum of less than a Starbucks coffee a month. Or even, I think there's two different ways on there. You can be $5 or $2 a month. And that, honestly, that support goes a lot further than people think. It really does. I mean, this year, for one, this whole facade and facade tutorials is specifically and truly sponsored by Patreon. Without the Patreon memberships, this next couple of videos is going to be coming out in the next, over the next 2 to 3 weeks. They would not exist had it not been from the sponsorships through Patreon. That's what really put it there. M. Perry. Loctite pumpkins are just okay. I actually do great stuff. Yeah, Yeah, another hot friend. He says great stuff with the sheet and mold and there's another friend of mine from Canada who's got a YouTube channel, and he did a full out 3-step, 4-step tutorial on Loctite and um, the sheets and stuff. But it's like I have played with the Loctite foam enough that I've actually got it to get smooth before doing some different things. Nothing that I've filmed, just playing around with it. So I'm going to grab some just to have some fun with it and see what I can come up with. Because like first Steel Beat did, which is Alan Hops, he did a video using some great stuff, and then the sheet wrapping and stuff, and then a little while later, gosh dang it, Pat. What's Pat's? I can't remember Pat's YouTube channel name, and then Pat took it and went a little bit further with it, and then made a pretty decent tutorial with the great stuff and all of that. Mm-hmm. Anyway, it's all worth playing with. It's just hard for me not to make something out of mache and doing it in a different fashion. Because that was the point. Even great stuff, the price of that great stuff can add up when you got to use a bunch of cans. Oh, that's hot. It's hot. Imagine that. Hot glue being hot. Anybody do anything exciting over the weekend? Nobody like went to jail or anything like that? Ooh, almost cut a little too much off of there. No, guess not. Rolly got live in Vegas. Clean it. Yeah, I just saw that Vegas got flooded out, man. That's terrible. I understand flooding. I've dealt with it way more than once, and it sucks. I absolutely hate getting flooded out. Hate it. I'm sorry that you had to go through that. Rosani says, no gel, but I experimented and made batches of homemade banana ice cream. Oh, that sounds good. Dead End says they had a storm and knocked out power for 5 hours. Was that over the weekend? Yeah, Renoli. Yeah, crazy for there. There's a kid on I don't know his name. There's a kid on YouTube that does these videos. They're always down on Lake Mead, which I'm pretty sure is real close to Vegas there. And they're always like out and where it's like the been up and going up and down, up and down. And watch some of his videos on all that stuff. It's pretty. He's him and his. I think it's his dad. They have some pretty interesting content to do with that area down there. All right, I got to back over here. We got to film this stuff going back. I'll be right back. Film it at the same time. Probably don't need to time lapse that. I should probably put that on standard. Yeah, I'll make it easier for my edits later. I'll have to put those on. I'll have to do that on standard time. That one sounds pretty hard. Okay. Boom. And we're back. Yeah, homemade ice cream sounds freaking amazing. I got some bigger pumpkins. But like I haven't had good homemade ice cream in a long time. Like when I was a kid, the old ice cream maker we had was it's the one that you would had to put dry ice in and you had to churn it with a lever by hand for a long time, man. Oh, and I can remember hot summertime. Every once in a while, mom and dad breaking that thing out to make some homemade vanilla ice cream. The best. The best. We do some homemade ice cream now, but we got one of those queasy farts. One of the Cuisinart deals where you got a frozen thing that goes in the freezer for a little while or whatever, and then you know, it's just not the same. Reaper's Horror has made it back to a Monday night live. Like long time no see. Oh no. This battery's almost dead. Great. crud. Hang on. I gotta go get a charger real quick. I'll be right back. Before I go, what's going on, Reap, is no new project right now. I've got 18 pumpkins that I got to get done for a video, so I'm filming a video while doing this and talking to you guys. And I'm just prepping these things for a little more strip mache and some clay later on. And I figured I would take questions, but no one's asking questions, and I'm just talking about random crap that doesn't even have to do with Halloween for the most part. So here we are. It's a incredibly productive Monday Night Live where we talked about exploding office chairs, and we got on some flooding, which sucks. I hate that for everybody that has to deal with that. And just other random crap. So that's where we're at. The phone I'm filming with is almost dead, so I gotta go grab a charger. Look at that. I got a paintbrush on the floor. Don't know how I managed to do that. Have a deal I started painting a long time ago. I need to finish. Oh, it's a mess in here. I'm not liking it. Gotta get this cleaned up. Where did that go? Oh, and then so like, see a little scarecrow dude back there? Like I have lately in the past month had so many people want to know how that was made. So I am going to do a video on it, but it won't happen before Halloween. That'll be like an after Halloween thing. I got too much stuff going on. Hey, better late than never. Dude, throw them cats out. Start again, man. I've had a few projects get screwed up by dogs and cats and had to start over. That's very frustrating. Very frustrating. I understand. Completely. I understand that. I guess here, that's better. All right. And doing the same thing in this pumpkin that I did to the other ones. I'm cutting the tops out. I'm going to invert it back in. I'm just prepping all these shells for clay. They're all going to have to get more strip mache on them, though, before I clay them, because they're all pretty gosh darn weak. And then I don't know, I'm going to have to re-edit this whole video, because in the beginning when I started this deal, I said I'd give myself 15 days to a month, and this is going to take longer. I'm going to be doing good to get these guys done before Halloween, because I'm going to have to hit them. I'm going to have to hit all these again with strip mache. They're too weak. Although I am going to, after Halloween, I'm going to experiment with some I got some pretty thin cardboard. And I'm going to experiment with that stuff, kind of tearing it into strips and then soaking it in paste for like a couple days and see how pliable it can get, and see if I can use it like strip mache, and then when it dry, maybe be a lot harder. Ray and Lynn, is there a popular theme for Halloween this year? Hey, that's a cool question. You know, I don't. From what I've seen, I don't see a lot. Well, I'm here. I can tell you, the 12-foot skeleton from Home Depot. Everybody's got those things. They're going to be out there everywhere. I know Steve's Haunted Yard is going to do Trick or Treat theme from the movie Trick or Treat, which that should be pretty freaking cool. My theme is going to continue on from the facade that was made last year to make it bigger, so it's an old, big old haunted house and graveyard and that type of thing. Soon, the theme of my yard will coincide with a Halloween story that I'm writing with my brother about why we put jack-o'-lanterns on our porch at Halloween. And then, no, it's not the traditional deal with Twisty Jack and the turnip and deal with the devil. It's just a brand new playing idea. Oh man, this thing is so weak. This for sure is going to have to get relayered up. Reapers, I do plan on starting again. I just need to find the time. Dude, you could totally, like right now, while you're watching this, you could restart on it. Go to town. I understand that finding the time situation. I was so tired today. It got hot. It's hot again here. Probably not as hot as Lloyd's is, but got back up in the decent 90s, and so outside all day long making the forms for the facade walls. The sun takes it out of you. And I almost, like, I ate dinner and I sat down on the couch, and we didn't do a Monday Night Live last week, and I was almost like, man, I was this close to not coming down here and doing anything. But I'm like, I got so much to do. Mars Attack animatronic. Yeah, get those done. Man, that's up, but that's, hey, you know what, dude? That's awesome that you've got art commissions going on. That you're monetizing your art. That's awesome. I'm always down for that. I love to hear people that are able to make some money off their art. So the story, my brother's not like a published writer or anything, but he's been doing some writing and stuff for quite a few years now, and he's pretty good. So the plan is to I like to get the story turned into basically maybe like a book, like a Halloween book, and then eventually like what he would like to do. And we're going to start next week. I'd like to write this whole story out and then turn it into basically like a playwright script type of a deal, and then do like a stop motion movie of it, which would be fun. He's all about wanting us to do all of that, which I'm down for making some stop motion characters and stuff, but that's a lot of work. And I love my brother to death. He makes some pretty good money. So I'm just like, hey, you want to fund me, you want to employ me so I can work on this project full time all the time. Let's get after it. But he and I, yeah, we're gonna put this thing together, and it'd be cool if it could get picked up by something like Pixar or whatever. You know, uh, it's a fun story, man. I mean, it really is. It's especially like kind of in my head. In my head, I've always seen like this cartoon version, or not really a cartoon, but like animated, kind of like oh, like Monster House was, or even like Nightmare Before Christmas. That was all stop motion and stuff. But it's a fun story, and like I would love to start talking about it on here, but I see people like rip people off all the time on the internet. So I'm hesitant to talk about the story. I'm hesitant to even tell the story on here because if I knew I had some kind of protections, like, hey, this is original story by me, my deal, where no one else can pick it up and just go with it that has more time, um, it's what I get worried about. But it's a fun story. It really is. Yeah, there's lots of people who have been ripped off. Even I don't know. This whole channel, I put this whole channel out not for me to make props to sell, because the medium I work with, since this isn't like I'm not molding these things and casting them or whatever, everything's always a one-off. So it takes a particular type of person to purchase something as a one-off type of a deal. So this whole gig was about just trying to teach people. Because, dude, when I started this, there wasn't much information out there there just wasn't. There wasn't a lot of information out there on the internet, especially to do with paper mache and this type of stuff, and weatherproofing it and all that junk. So I was through the school of hard knocks trying to figure this out because I was broke and wanted to make props. That's how it all started. Uh, anyway, always having the goal that maybe one day somehow I can monetize it in the teaching format. Don't want to sell, but teaching formats. That's why I push Patreon so much. Even if someone gets on Patreon at the $2 level, that helps out a whole bunch. But the hell was I going? Oh, so yeah. Anyway, a long time ago, there really wasn't anything out there. Like even when I was looking, no one was using Type Bond 2 wood glue, any of that type of stuff. I guess maybe there might have been someone. I can't sit around here and say that no one else wasn't doing it, and that I was the first person to think about doing it. But I know I was the first person to put something on YouTube that said anything about Type Bond 2 wood glue. And I didn't even see anything in the forums about that stuff. But when I first did, this was super weak. Oh my God. These are going to be a struggle. I have got to layer these back up or they're all going to collapse. I tried to push through these things super fast, and now I'm kicking myself in the butt because they're going to be a problem. Don't do that to yourself. But anyway, so I did this. I did these second generation pumpkins, and so back then, like Jim Walden, Jay Wall was like the first person to really do this real step by step tutorial. There are like 4 of them. They were all super long, and Jay Wall's a good guy, and he did his with the whole Walmart sack or trash bag taped up to get the shape of the pumpkin, and then putting your paper mache over that, and then doing a little bit of clay for just around the eye area and that type of stuff. So Jay Wall did that one, and then I kind of did one a little bit like that and changed it up just a little bit because I didn't want it to be the same. And that's been like my whole goal ever since I was doing any of this, wasn't to copy anybody else. So then when I did the second generation pumpkin, the way I did the faces and stuff on that pumpkin and the jaws and the way the clay laid up on the each deal, and I kind of molded them in or whatever. I got pictures, I can pull them up. But no one else was doing that. Like that wasn't anywhere. And then that's awesome. I see people who obviously watch the video and they show pictures, and I think it's great. I love it. I love seeing the influence out there. You know, I was able to help people make stuff, and that's awesome. So when I was in Home Depot the other day, and they've got a new pumpkin out, and it's a cool pumpkin. But I even showed it to my wife, and I'm like, babe, is it me? Am I just being an asshole, or does this thing look? And she's like, that looks a whole lot like the way you did those second generation. The way they done that face looks a lot like yours back in the day. I was like, okay. I was just wondering if it was me because, you know, and there's a lot of that stuff. But there's even like at Home Depot this year, there's a witch's cauldron that's kind of neat. But the way that thing kind of looks and the way it starts out, I don't know if you guys know, there's a Oak Lane Cemetery. He's got a YouTube channel. He doesn't talk on it or anything else, but he makes some awesome stuff, and he puts a lot of time into his work, and everything has such an artistic flair to everything that he does. Just incredible. And I was looking at that witch cauldron thing, and I'm like, man, that looks a whole lot like one of his first witch's cauldron setups that he ever did. Because there's people out there that are watching home hunters and stuff and kind of pulling some of their. It's happened over the years a lot, where they've ripped people off and sent it somewhere and had a bulk made. That stuff happens. Dude, Reap, that sucks, man. You had a story filling out right. Well, if it was me, I wouldn't tell you. But it wasn't me. I hate that type of stuff. Thank you, Ray. God, I'm going to butcher your name. Ranelli. Was it Ranelli? Ranelli? Reapers Horror says, I have an idea for your story. Maybe you could do an animatic. What's an animatic? Is that like stop motion type stuff? Or what is explain, elaborate. I have no idea what you're talking about. See, this one sounds kind of tough, but I'm afraid it's going to be Raynell. 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 Ray. Nell. Renell. Renell? or Raynell. I'm I'm a goober. I'm terrible with names. I'm terrible with pronunciations. It's you know what? It's so funny. I read a lot of books, and in my mind when I read, like a lot of times, a lot of things I can actually in my mind I can actually All right, I think I'm back now. That happens at least once every live stream, and I've been told I need to figure out how to get a my router's upstairs. I need to figure out how to get an Ethernet cable plugged into it and brought down here where I can plug straight into it. I've heard that'll solve a lot of my problems. But unfortunately, when I rebuilt all this stuff over here and I put this other ceiling in, I never thought about that. When the ceiling was open, when I could have kind of drilled up through the floor very easily, and fished a wire up through there. Right now, all the ceilings are finished. So yeah, I don't know how I'm going to do that. It's my own fault. Ray. Egon. Well, speaking of that, gosh dang, that's still one of my favorite movies of all time. It's got to be Ghostbusters. It still makes me laugh. I've seen it a bunch of times, and I still love watching it every time I see it. I miss I miss movies like that that were just fun. Oh my gosh, that noise is horrible. It's like fingernails on a chalkboard. I'd pause it, but I'm going to make you guys suffer too. An animatic is like a storyboard, but put into be. Oh, right. I know what you're talking about. What many films do before filming essentially is like a comic book. Yeah. I get it. Hey, Linda's here. Hey, Linda, how are you? Hopefully, everything, weather and stuff's been good for you. No flooding, no crazy storms. Okay, here we go again. It's going to sound nasty. Yeah. You know what? That one wasn't as bad as the top one, though. Yay! See, this one's a little more. This one's actually stout. I got plenty of layers on it. A couple of these, though. Whew, a couple of them are pretty weak. Definitely got to get layered up again. That's my fault for being lazy. I guess that's what happens when I'm been doing so much of this stuff, and like this has been a back burner video that I've been trying to make, and I always go into it late, and then it's like 1 o'clock in the morning, and all I want to do is go to bed, and I'm trying to mache layers on this, and I'm just like, good enough. That's close enough. I'm going to bed. But yeah, back to theme wise, I don't know. I haven't seen anything laid out as a big popular theme yet. What about you guys? Well, so you guys that are, for those of you who do decorate. Do you have themes, or you got a theme for this year? And theming for, like, I've done this for, like I said, I've been doing this since I've been at this house, right? Since I was 15. So one of these days I'm going to do a video because I've got like old pictures from way back when, uh, of the house on Halloween and stuff. So I need to put together a video that shows like way back, right, all that stuff and all the way through to now. I never really had like a theme. It was just Halloween, whatever I could do that was creepy or whatever. And I don't like I don't mind gore and stuff. And like if I go to a haunted house and stuff, that's what I want. But when I do my yard, I don't do any gore in the yard because it's Halloween. I like that. I enjoy that old school spooky, right? That's what I like. Like the, you know, it's dark outside, moon's out, no leaves on the tree, the air's chilly, it's brisk, black cats roaming around, and you hear leaves blowing across the yard and they're tumbling across the ground. You can hear them going, and then you hear the crunch of footsteps through the leaves and stuff, and what's kind of in the shadows and that type of thing. That's that's Halloween for me. That's that just that spooky. That's what I like, right? That's kind of what I try to do with the yard, except if I chase the kids out of the yard with a chainsaw. So you got to have something because and so that's something too that's different with the yard. Like when I did this, as I did this back in the day, you could do like trick or treaters came, but there was always like maybe 5 to 10 minutes in between a trick or treater being here, right? So back then, the yard could be all set up in its display, and then when we would set out, as costumes, act like we would actually act like we were dummies in the display and sit there and wait. So it was kind of creepy. And you would hear kids kind of coming up the street, and so we just sit still and wait, and then they come up into the yard, get their candy, and then of course they're all like, especially they had little brothers and sisters, they'd be like, "See, we told you it was just all fake and stuff." And then once they get their candy, come down, then we come alive on them, and just that's right, that like that. Those are the best scares because you just they've convinced themselves by that time that everything is just fine, and then all of a sudden those props come alive and they just lose it. Oh, it's so funny. But over the years, this yard's become more of a destination for everybody, which is awesome. So we get hay rides and stuff, and I get these mid-20 kids in their mid-20s, and they'll stop talking to me about how they used to come here as a kid. I love to hear that type of stuff. But we have like it's constant kids all the time, just hay rides and kids and people waiting and da. So we can't do that whole aspect of just like standing out there waiting, acting like a dummy, and just that whole Halloween vibe of quiet creepiness. You know, you lose a little bit of that with more people that show up. But I'm glad more people show up because it's fun. That means more kids are enjoying it and they're getting, you know, you're making memories, whatever. So that's cool. So nowadays, the young ones are always easy to scare, and then we have always got, I'm chasing kids out with chainsaws anymore, and then I've got some of my buddies walk the sidewalks, and they'll mess with the cars and stuff as people are pulling up and that type of thing. So there's just commotion all the time. It's still an event that everybody likes to come to. I'd like to do it again. One year I did it where I did kind of a walk-through type thing. We only let so many people in at a time, and that was fun. That was a whole lot of work. I'd like to set one up like that again. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I'm going to do a QR code for, and I've never done that. The only people that support me and support this channel right now are not local people. It's people like you on the internet that that like the YouTube channel. They like to see it. So you're either supporting by watching, by liking, or by super chat sometimes. And then those of you who are actually patrons and on Patreon, and if you're at that $2 or $5 a month stuff, that support, that's by this group that's out here with you guys. So I think this year I'm going to do a QR code thing because there's a lot of parents that just kind of stand and watch, where they can scan and do a little video for them talking about the yard, and how, because most people here don't even realize. You know what's funny? Most of the people in my community do not realize that 90%, and I'm telling you, because those 90% of everything is in my display. I made, like last year, the only things that were in the yard that I did not make were the two skellies that I bought, one from Home Depot and one from Walmart. And then I bought two Dollar Tree little uh, jack-o'-lanterns that lit for super cheap, because they were neat looking for a little cheap pumpkin. So of everything is in the yard, only four things in the yard I didn't make, right? So the locals around here don't even know that I make that. They just think I've gone and bought this crap somewhere. Um, so I think I'm going to do a little video for that, just talking to the locals and be like, hey, if you enjoy this, and you've enjoyed it as kids or whatever, and you enjoy bringing your kids here, and if you want to try to help, to make sure this tradition continues, I'm going to see if I can convert locals just to maybe pitch in on Patreon $2 a month, that type of stuff. Even though that's a small amount, that goes a long way on me being able to do any of this, especially this year. Like I've said so many times, it's real weird. My business wise was real slow, like scary, super slow. And none of the stuff that's coming up in the videos that you're going to see in the next 2 or 3 weeks. But if it wasn't for those guys in Patreon, none of it would happen. But I saved all of that money too, because it's taken a while to get any kind of substantial money up in there. But it's because of them that's even happening. So I appreciate all that, and I appreciate you guys too that come watch too, because you guys I don't think a lot of you guys understand when you watch this video, or if you watch another video that's just a normal video, and if you comment on that video and you like that video or whatever, that support triggers the algorithm gods of YouTube, and they say it's a good, this is a good thing, and they go to more people, and all that stuff helps out. So anyway, let me get off that pony horse and see, people have been talking. Hey, Berlin, nice to see you here. Glad you're here. Yes, I love spooky, man. Just the kind of that stuff excites me. That's why it's like I love, like, I don't know if you guys have seen there's a cartoon type thing called Monster House. I love that show because it's like the house across the street that they think's haunted, and they're just telling stories to themselves about it, and the little girl at the beginning's on her tricycle and then gets stuck in the grass. The grass kind of grabs the whole. That's awesome to me. That's Halloween stuff, and I just love it. It just makes me happy. I missed Renelle. I asked because my boss's daughter wants me to do trunk or treat for her. Whoa, I missed your question. Where did I miss that question? Oh, so you were talking about, okay, you want to know about a theme because of doing trunk or treat. I got you. Man, I don't know. I don't. I think if you did anything on a trunk or treat where you had even some tombstones or whatever, or if you made something like, because people do pirate stuff too, if you did anything like that was a little bit more than just a car trunk with some treats in it, I think the kids would enjoy it. I don't know, but see, around here when they do trunk or treats, it's not anything. And I've seen some places where people do trunk or treats and they get real big with it. So that's pretty cool. I'm still a purist of door-to-door trick-or-treating type of thing. Okay, boss daughter, Reaper's Horror. I've been trying to keep my Halloween spending pretty light. Yeah, I get it, dude. So I'll limit my purchases. What I want to do is make another child-sized character using a kit from Spider Hill Prop Works. Yeah, Spider Hill. That's the ones that got isn't that the ones that get the PVC joints and you can, click thing. I should buy some of those. I made all my props out of PVC for dude. So back when, like I said, I've been doing it forever. So back when I was doing the yard, like everybody around here, that put dummies out, they just had dummies, sitting in a chair or sitting on a wheelbarrow or whatever, or a haystack or something or whatever, just stuffed and sitting on something. And that was always, a decoration, old school Halloween decoration, right? So back when I wanted dummies, I wanted to set my dummies up so they look like people. Man, this was years ago. Oh my gosh. So I didn't have a bunch of PVC, but I did have, like, for a long time. Um, the house I'm in now is the house I grew up in, and my dad did quite a bit of woodworking stuff and different things. So the garage for years was filled with like old lumber and 2x4s and stuff like that. And I've always been this way too. Like everything I've normally ever made has been out of junk that I've had laying around the house, right? So always had these 2x4s and stuff. So I used to a long time ago. I basically would make 2x4 skeletons that I would drape all my clothes over, kind of like what people do with PVC now, right? But I did it with 2x4s because I didn't have money to go buy PVC, and back then PVC would have been a lot cheaper. I literally would cut an angle and drive the wood into the ground, and then a lot of times I'd go up as high as a knee, and then I'd put another joint, screw it in, and do all that, and I'd put the pants over it and stuff it, and then I'd build a waist area because I wanted my dummies to stand up. I didn't want them to be sitting down, and that was for around here that no one did. There weren't stand up props, back then. So that's how I made my first stand up props was with with 2x4s and old clothes and a bunch of newspapers. And that's what we would do on Halloween night. We would take those. We would take those dummies, right, and and pull them out of the yard, unstuff them, put those clothes back on, stuff the clothes back up, and then go stand right back out in the spot where those dummies were. So people saw those dummies for 30 days, and then when the kids came, everybody just thought they were dummies, and we would come to life. And that's when we get some great jump scares back when. Okay, here we go. I'm on another tangent here. Sorry. I'm horrible about being on a tangent. Linda, so when we first purchased our house, the street lights were dim and the street wasn't as bright. You know what? I should pull this up as I read this so you guys can all see it. Oh, wait a minute. I'll go Linda first. So when we first purchased our house, the street lights were dim and the street wasn't as bright. The city came in and put all new LED. Yeah, I know. They did that around here too. I got one light right over here on the corner, and it was for years. It was an old wall. Somebody once shot a little bulb out with a BB gun, but I don't know who that was, and that was a long time ago. But now the light's pretty bright. But I am fortunate enough because that light's like right on the corner of my property, right over here. And right on the corner of my property too is this big, huge hedge tree that's kind of like right up in front of that. So between that and another tree, it still kind of blocks that light out, so it can get pretty dark in the yard, which is an advantage for me. Rosani says, "I knew I liked you for a reason." Yes, spooky, thrilling suspense, the element of surprise. Props and atmosphere that's safe. Something unexpected, even if it's simple. Yes, absolutely. Berlene says she doesn't like gore stuff. Des. So Lloyd said your Wolfman was too heavy for the Spider Hill prop works. What? What's it even all made out of? Yeah, there's some of that stuff that I wouldn't mind purchasing because I could get away with that type of thing. Because and even like right now, like to make a stand up prop, unless like like Lloyd's Wolf's fully haired, I've seen the whole thing. It's awesome. And like I made a wolf out of paper mache a long time ago, and he was a full fledged, sculpted his hair and everything else. So, but like my witches, and I got this guy that I've called the gatekeeper forever. Um, my witches, my gatekeeper, and if I did anything else, if I do anything that requires clothing for a prop, right? Then to make that prop physically, as far as me making the prop, I make the head with paper mache and the neck, and then depending on how far down, well, if I'm thinking about what kind of clothes are going to be on, so what's going to be exposed. So it's the head, neck, and then whatever chest area that I need to make, and then hands. And it's hands, and I usually do forearm up into here somewhere, and then the rest of that stuff's just PVC. Everything underneath the clothes is PVC and pool noodles, just put together. Sometimes I'll bend them so the shoulders look. I hate when things are made and it's just a T, like, and you can tell that shoulders just come out just like straight and then comes up. That's not how it's not how a body works. I mean, even look at my shoulders, they've got a slant to them and then they come down. So a lot of times I'll bend that stuff, even though I got to do a little heat gun, but uh, it's just PVC. So any of my big stand-up props now, if I make anything new that's going to involve clothing, there's a head and arms that stick out. That's it. Everything else is the PVC and then clothes. It's it's easier to make them that way. You can make them that way. They're easy to put together and they're easy to store. Because literally my two witches, besides I've got, oh my God, I got to fix these. Holy cow. Halloween's almost here. I'm in the middle of this facade and I look over and this is the witch's hand. I haven't even fixed this yet. I got to fix this too. Because my witch's hands are broke. Oh, I got a lot going on. Maybe I can work on that this week. I don't know. And I got 18 pumpkins I'm working on. But yeah, so if they got clothes, it's just head and hands, and then because it's literally like I was saying, these witches, I tear them all apart, including the PVC because I have their arms marked right, and all that goes inside one tote. Their clothes go inside the tote, the heads go inside the tote, the arms, the PVC, all of it. It's all labeled. Everything goes inside a tote, and then that tote gets stored. And then the next year, I just pull the tote out, pull everything out, and then re-put it back together again because I don't glue any of the PVC together. Just put it right back together again. Boom, ready to go. Some of these things that I don't want to move or whatever, I'll make glue a few joints that I don't want to move, but I always make them in a way that it comes apart. Everything I've always made forever has, unless it's small and easy to store, comes apart. I don't have much storage, so as a home haunter, it has to come up for me. It has to come apart so that I can store it. I don't have a bunch of room to have 6 foot tall props just waiting. It's all got to be tore down and stored. Lupin, you're here, bro. Berlin says, I'm so behind. It's 55 hours a week. Oh, that sucks. I hope you get that witch's hut cabin thing made. Get that thing knocked out. It's terrible having to work that. If I can make this a full time deal, I'll work 50, 60 hours a week and be happy because it's doing this. But no, you shouldn't have to be a slave to work. It sucks that things are so expensive now that that type of stuff has to happen. Lloyd, PVC frame, and then foam and latex. Foam, latex, and fabric. Oh my gosh, I'm tired. Lloyd, Reaper Horse wants to know if it's the fur that's weighing it down so much. Lupin, you're correct. Halloween does give you some leeway on anatomy, for sure. Depending on what you're doing. There's certain things, though, like when you do a skull, it's got to be. We all kind of know what a skull looks like. So if you make the skull too funky and weird and out of shape, then people are like, what? You know? But there's other things like creatures and stuff. Yeah, you can get away with anything. Okay, let's put this back in spot. I've talked enough that this thing's got a charge. I talked to you all enough that this went from a 2% charge to a 40% charge, which means that I can film with it for what I was doing. Except now I changed the angle, so that's going to be a weird thing, but whatever. I don't care. No one will notice. I don't know. Someone will notice. One of you guys will notice, and you'll say something. Just call it a mutant if it looks weird. Yeah, right. Lloyd says the head and foam are probably the heaviest. Okay, hang on, fellas. I got to get some more. I'm only going to do a few more of these, and then I'm going to call it quits tonight. I've just been at this all day. Well, not this, but I've been at creating Halloween all day. Mm-hmm. And stop recording. Okay, here we go. Knives at the floor. Oh. Hello. See, I'm going to have to. It's rough. I'm trying to get all these guys done. These are taking a lot of time just prepping this. I've got another video that I kind of started. I need to edit. I started the facade. I'm filming that. I will probably spend every waking hour when I get off work, coming home and working into the evening on that. I guess I can work on the evening on that, film that, and then come down here and work on these pumpkins. Afterwards. I wouldn't mind. Do I have a little bit bigger? Ooh, let's do this. Lego. Yeah, that is a little bit bigger. Let's do that. I like that. I have definitely bit off I've bit off like a whole bunch here recently, all just because trying to make consistent YouTube content. And now I don't know if I'm going to get it all done, which is irritating. Like, I like to finish projects. for sure I'll be getting the facade finished. I would like to get these 18 pumpkins done. I'd like to get this little ghost thing done too, but and hopefully you guys that follow along are here and you're subscribed, because YouTube doesn't seem to realize this. I hope you guys realize that I try to release videos all year long, not just during Halloween. I have noticed that YouTube likes to promote more or push more of my videos at Halloween time, and once Halloween's over they stop. So hopefully you guys that follow along realize that I try, and I'm going to keep trying to do, well, the goal was to do one normal video and a live every single week. I don't know if I'm going to, oh man, I made this one way too weak. This one's going to bite me in the, this is going to bite me in the rear. I should have totally layered that up more. Oh my gosh. Anyway, at least 2 standard YouTube videos a month. Hopefully you guys know that happens throughout the rest of the year. What did I do? Did I not? Man, this is too thin. I may only get 17 pumpkins done because this thing is super weak. I've been more consistent this year, though. This has been the first, like every year, I've had these great ambitions that I was going to make videos no matter what. And I just allowed myself to get lazy in the past and not consistently do it. But this year's been a lot better. I think the only thing that really slowed me down this year is because I stopped to get this craft room / studio redone. However, we did do Monday Night Lives during that entire thing, so there was at least these live content was out there. These balloons are sticking worse than usually. They don't stick this bad. And these balloons are just sticking horribly. It's like I almost wish I would have wrapped it with plastic wrap before I laid the mache on. Holy cow. Looping the paper clay will thicken it up, but here's a problem. I go super heavy when I do my clay. This thing is so flexible that I have to put more on. I have to sturdy this up more, because if I don't, I'll go so heavy with the clay that it'll collapse. Unless I shove. Now I could just shove a bunch of newspaper inside here. When I do the clay, I could do that. I could cheat it even more. I could be even lazier. I could do that. I could shove a bunch of newspaper inside here. and basically stuff it, and then that will keep it from collapsing while I do the paper clay. Yes, I could do that. I just really prefer my strip mache armature to be way stronger than this. This is super. This is super flexible, but it's my fault. It's my fault because I just tried to rush it. I probably shouldn't have tried. I shouldn't have gone with the whole video scenario of let's see how many pumpkins I can make in a month at this point in time. Probably should have waited until after Halloween, considering how close I was to everything else. Like I said, I'm trying to get YouTube where I'm like doing a video every week or every 2 weeks. And that means that I've got to be constantly building multiple things at once. Get off there. Hey, Lloyd. Super chat. Thank you for the super chat, dude. I really appreciate that, man. You know what, Lloyd? I appreciate that so much. You're always like dropping 19, 20. It would probably be financially better for you to join a Patreon and just pay like $5 a month, and then we would spend less money. But I do appreciate that. You're consistently doing that. It means a lot, brother. It goes a long ways. Really does. Yeah, Lupin, I've been trying to do the live streams. I've been trying to use the live streams as at least like this consistent thing that YouTube's picking up, that's like showing consistency. And so I've been trying to do that, but man, I don't know. You guys ask. So here's what I don't know. Like if you go to my channel, I think I've got the channel set up. Like when you're actually on the channel, you'll see, like, I think the first row is like the newest videos that have been out. And then the row underneath that is gosh dang it. Oh, they have a specific name for it. I'm drawing a blank right now. What is it? It's playlists, but those playlists are actually tutorials. So each playlist, like there's a playlist on the pumpkins, there's a playlist on Groundbreaker, playlist on a zombie Groundbreaker. So they're all different, these playlists, but those are all tutorials, like 1, 2, 3, 4 steps, whatever they are. So I think it goes newest stuff, playlists, and then maybe most popular videos underneath that. The only thing that kind of blows with the live stream all the time is I'm afraid just people see this live, just kind of this blank live, because I don't put anything crazy in the thumbnails or anything. And if you're just coming new, new people may not like these boring lives as much as a shorter 10, 12-minute video. That's kind of fun, but I've been trying to do the lives for consistency. As I build my paper mache empire. Lloyd, I hope you get to feeling better, man. You're sick. Go to bed, dude. For sure. Hopefully it's nothing big. Hopefully you get over whatever it is really quick. Carrie's been under the weather for about 3 days now. I'm hoping she gets over it pretty quick too. Yeah, the lives kind of motivate me to keep doing stuff too. Because trust me, there's times that I haven't wanted to do things on a Monday, and it's been because of the lives. I'm like, all right, let's get down here and work on something. These, I can already tell you guys though, these next few lives aren't going to be like new projects. It's probably going to be stuff like this because Halloween's on right now. I'm trying to do that facade. I've got some of these other videos I'm trying to work on. So these lives will probably be like this, where I'm just trying to get these things finished up and using this time to help get caught up on some of this stuff. So that's where I said, like, tonight's deal, like Q&A, man. You guys have questions, but a lot of you guys are the same. So a lot of you guys don't have all the questions. There's so many people I see on Facebook and stuff that have all these. A lot of them questions are great, and a lot of questions are videos that I've answered in the past. I wish I could kind of get some of those people over here, just on the lives, just for them to ask those questions. But they're asking everywhere else, like DIY yard prop, Halloween yard props, something like that, Facebook group. So many people over there seem to be like diving into paper mache for the first time, and they've got all these questions, and I'll answer them on there. I don't mind, but I'd rather, like, it's probably because I didn't do good in English, but it's easier for me to explain it over a video talking to you than it is for me to type something out to answer that question. I'm so ready for fall. So, like the end of last week, man, we had some cool days. It started feeling like fall. I'm so happy. And then this weekend, it just turned right back around, heated right back up again. I am so ready for that brisk feeling in the air. You know, I mean, it even has a smell. It's like you can smell the cold. I love that. I'm so ready for some fall weather. Oh, somebody else said something. There we go. So Reed says, I have a question. Awesome. I do have a question on my mind. How would you get paper mache to best stick to plastic? Should I tape over the plastic first? Yeah, so plastic's a pain in the butt. There's a couple ways to do that. You could tape over it first, but if you're going to tape over it, you need masking tape. Isn't going to work because masking tape, this is going to let loose over time. You know, packing tape works good, but then packing tape's shiny, so then you have the same problem with your mache sticking to it. Duct tape will stick pretty good. But you got to get like a matte fit. Here's the best, absolute best thing you can do is whatever that surface is, that's plastic, like I did. I still got a couple of these to make some different things out of. A couple of years ago, I bought these at the dollar store. These cheap Easter eggs. They're plastic, and then I made that. I made a cheap, fast man-eating plant thing out of these. Sand it. Sand it. Use a rough sandpaper. Sand it with like 40 grit or something. It really gets in there and cuts and makes some texture inside that. It's kind of like when you paint, right? Like if you're painting an automobile or whatever, it's the sanding. Like you can't paint over gloss. You got to sand that gloss in. You got to give it some tooth. Now, when you're doing that on paint, you sand thin and light so you don't see those scratches. You see those sand scratches in the paint or whatever. But when you're doing something like this, you're going to layer mache over it. You can use like a 40 grit or 60 grit, just sand the crap out of it, give it some tooth, and then put some paste straight onto your plastic, and then put some strip mache and stuff over that. And I would do strip mache over it first, even if you're going to clay, and let that strip mache kind of adhere into that, and then clay over that onto your strip mache. And if you can cover the entire item, I don't know what you got going on, but if you can sand the whole thing and then encase the whole thing in your strip mache, like all the way around, it'll be even better. Oh, I like this. Are they like this? What about some of these? Like 4 years ago, because I was going, they're a great back scratcher. But I was going to use, I think these were for salad, and I bought them at Dollar General. I initially bought these because I was going to use them. I was going to figure out some little creature to make with these. Haven't done it yet. They're still just sitting here, waiting. Yeah. Sand it, and then strip mache over it. When you sand it, it'll give it some tooth. And get something about glue to bite into and hold on to. Do we do a big fat top with this one too? Let's do it. Let's do a big fat top with this one. Beans. Hey, I don't know. You guys can see that. This is a barbecue baked bean thing. Generally always make my own baked beans. I have a pretty good recipe for it. I love my own baked beans, but sometime this summer, I can't remember when it was, we were doing a barbecue or whatever, and I had a lot that I was cooking, and we were at Sam's, and I went ahead and just bought that just to see, and let me tell you, for a pre-made store, bought baked bean, barbecue baked bean, this stuff was pretty good. So here's a free advertisement for whoever these people are. But you can get this at Sam's. That's a pretty decent baked bean. Man, Reaps, I will give advice. I will help out as much as I can any point in time. Especially if it's in this world of mache, because I've screwed up a bunch of crap, fellas. Let me tell you, I'm not afraid to try stuff. So I've ruined a bunch of different things. I will always answer a question if I can. And if I've never done it before and I don't have an answer for you, I'll just tell you. I haven't done it before, but ask, man. That's where my value is at, is more, I guess there's a little entertainment on my channel, but it's more of asking questions. Gary says, any advice on doing large paper mache pumpkin? I'm thinking of trying to use a 24-inch and possibly 36-inch balloons to make some large pumpkins. Yeah, those 20. Oh, I did these ones back here. They're like a 22. Here, let me get it. So this was like a 22-inch pumpkin. This is like a 22-inch balloon, and I left a little bit of air out of it so I could squat it because I wanted it to be squatty. I didn't want it to be round. The biggest thing I can tell you, the bigger you go, is this layer here. You need to multiple layers on your strip mache. The more layers you can put on this, the stronger you can make this part, the better off you're gonna be. You really want to make that strong, especially if you're going to put clay over it. You want this to be strong. And then I'm horrible, but I won't do it. Like, I would refrain from making a big, huge, gaping mouth with something real big. The bigger you make a mouth without putting any kind of rigidity through here, it will collapse on you over time. You'll watch the mouth kind of close in. But you can do it where you leave a few teeth that'll stick together, right? I have a tooth here and a tooth here in the middle of the mouth. That'll help keep some rigidity in there. Versus going back through the inside with foam or something or whatever. The biggest thing is really put a bunch of layers of strip mache on these bigger ones, a whole bunch. Make this as stout as possible. Then do your clay, and then seal the crap out of it. That'll help out. Yeah, Lupin. I mean, a wire like that would help, but you would almost need to do it, because I've almost done it, and I always worried about where I was going to put my mouth. So if you did it in your mouth and your teeth, so if you were going to do something like that, you would have to have, I'd still recommend as many strips as you could at first, right? And if you're going to do some big gaping, but still, you got that going. It's never, so if you just, let me put it this way. If I made this pumpkin and I didn't put a big mouth in it, and this was just a big pumpkin, right? And I just layered this thing up and then threw clay on it, I'll have no worries about it collapsing ever. It'll stay together good because it's rigid. It's not going to, it's opening up that mouth. That's when you, depending on how big and how wide, when you open that out, you're losing structural integrity of this. You can run wires up it, but then the problem is if you're looking in the mouth that's open and you see these wires in there, the hanger wire in there, you know, that's always been my big drawback to doing that, because I always wanted the mouth to be open. You could do it like, you could put the wire in there, right? And then if you look at my second generation pumpkins, I did like this cotton inside the mouth where it looked like just goo as the mouth was opening up. So if you did that, you could hide the wires too. That would work. You could do something like that. But just, you want to layer the crap out. The stronger you can make this base, the better you're going to be. And this one's going to have to get even more, because this is going to go, I'm going to finish this guy out just for this video, but this is going to go on another project that I haven't even started yet. It's going to be the head. So lots of layers. And like I said, I haven't done it yet, but there's going to be a video coming up. I've got some of this cardboard like this, and that's pretty thick, but it still pretty flimsy. And I'm going to tear some of this in strips, and I'm going to soak this in mache paste for 3 or 4 days and see if I can make it really pliable where it's easy to bend around. And I'm going to start playing with some of this to see if I can do a few layers like that on something. And once that dries, how hard is that compared to layers of strip mache? I've got a few projects that hopefully will happen. And it's not, none of this is going to happen before Halloween. I've got too much going on. But after Halloween, I'm going to try to do a bunch of videos on, because people are always questioning wood glue versus white glue, flour in your paste, not having flour in your paste, you know, all these different things that would make this part stronger or not stronger or whatever. So I'm going to do some videos where I'm going to make a few little pumpkins like this that are going to have the different paste, wood glue, white glue with flour, wood glue with flour, you know, and then just different ways of doing them. And they're going to set out in the rain, and I'm going to measure do things to see how strong they are, see if one's really stronger than the other one. We're going to do a few of these where this is just like this, where it's just wood glue and nothing else, you know, let it set outside in the weather, see how long it takes for it to tear apart without having, you know, any other kind of sealers on it. I'm going to do some testing on it, and put some videos so everybody can, because they've always got those questions. And my paste recipe is Type Bond 2 wood glue, water. It's the way it's been for years now. It's not fully waterproof, but that does help a little bit of water resistance at this level. But I'm going to do some tests like that. We're going to find out. But it's the bigger you go, though. Here's the thing, man. The bigger you go, the heavier things get, and you really need to have structure inside of them. I made the pumpkin dragon a few years ago, where I made the big head. And the big head was like 5 foot tall, was 3.5 foot around, and the base of it was strip mache. I didn't go thick enough. I should have went thicker with that as my base layer. I thought I went enough. I didn't go enough, and then I wound up using sheet metal inside and bending ridges, so I kind of made a metal skeleton inside those halves, and then covered all that with paper mache and stuff. And then I used pool noodles to do the ribbings of the pumpkin part. But then over time, I mean, that guy, used him for, I can't remember how many years I used for him, but over time, I didn't get him sealed up good enough, and the pool noodles absorbed water and stuff, and that mouth at first was gaped like way open, which was awesome. And then over time, it settled. It never fully closed, but it settled into about like right here and then stopped. And it's just all due to that thing. Probably should have really had a wood structure underneath of it and stuff. You gotta, when you're going bigger, you gotta have stronger stuff inside. I mean, it just is what it is. You know, bigger you go, you got to make sure everything's strong. Maybe you got an armature, you're putting it over the top of it, you know, that type of deal. But when you're only talking like a 22 to 24 inch pumpkin, I think you can get away with just layering up a whole bunch of layers, making this part really strong and stout, and you'll be okay. You start getting bigger than this, like real big. Like I want to do like the stack pumpkin thing that Home Depot's got, and that thing's super neat. I want to make one of those. So we're talking big pumpkins, stack. So that's going to be a list of the things to make at one point in time. And I'll address all that in that video when I try to figure out ways to make the pumpkin even stronger, being that big of a pumpkin. I don't know. If you don't want to... yeah, it's just going to be, sorry, I'm putting this thing back. It's layering up that initial, base layer. And I can tell you something else that will help. And if you've never done it and you try to do it, you're going to be super mad at me. But pumpkin that big, and then instead of using clay to make all your pumpkin shapes, if you use cotton balls, I've got some tutorials on how to make cotton ball pumpkins. I'm going to tell you this right now. Hang on. God, that's loud. Come on. Paper clay is for sure way easier when you're making a pumpkin, right? To make all those pumpkin ridges and things like that. Cotton balls, when you make a cotton ball pumpkin with the ridges and stuff, you can get some crazy awesome texture with it. It can be very frustrating at first. You got to be light-handed with it. You gotta kind of mold into it. It takes some practice. But the reason I say on a pumpkin that big and going with cotton balls to make all your ridging with is because every cotton ball pumpkin I've ever made is light. And I haven't had a single pumpkin that I've done with a cotton ball method that's even tried to sag at all. They've done extremely well. But I'm telling you, that method can be super frustrating too. Super frustrating. The only other thing I could say to do too is on a pumpkin that big, you can do all your strip mache, and then instead of doing standard paper clay, if you have access, if you know someone that does woodworking and stuff, and you got access to some sawdust, there is a video on the channel called Wood Clay that I did a few years back using sawdust. Sawdust, Type Bond 2 wood glue, joint compound. I can't remember. I have to watch a video to remember the rest of it. But I made a pumpkin, a bigger pumpkin, that I used that wood clay on top of a strip mache armature. That is by far the absolute strongest pumpkin I've got. It has never failed. It is rock hard. It looks exactly the same as it did when I first made it. And it has been through major water, major rains. And I honestly think of all the pumpkins I've made so far, the one that I've made with the wood clay, that pumpkin, I'm convinced will last forever, unless termites get to it or something. It's just going to last forever. I should probably convert this whole channel from paper mache to wood clay and start doing everything in wood clay and do wood clay tutorials and make everything out of wood clay. Because it's the absolute best thing that I'm being super honest. I did a short thing with wood clay, and then I let it go, and it was something that I came up with that I thought I came up with, and then later on I found other people like, yeah, well, there's a thing kind of like this, and I was like, oh wow, I thought of it first. But I got a buddy that does woodworking, and I need to go back and get more sawdust from him, and because I'm stupid for not even continuing doing it. It's just as cheap to make as actually cheaper than making toilet paper clay, because I got to buy the toilet paper. The sawdust clay, I got a buddy, so I get the sawdust for free. But still, you could go buy a 2x4 and get a table saw and a real fine blade. You could just run. You can make your own sawdust, your own fine sawdust. One 2x4 probably give you. If you spent $2 for one 2x4, probably give you a huge pile of sawdust you can do stuff with. That that wood clay that's the best thing I've ever done. Was easy to make. You can carve some awesome detail into it. It holds the detail. It shrinks, but it doesn't shrink up as much as toilet paper clay or the egg carton clay or anything else. And when it dries, it's solid. If you want to get crazy with it, I mean, you can take and sand that down. You can sand that all the way down to a super smooth finish and then stain it and make like an elegant wood crafty thing. I mean, yeah, and they last. I need to be, and they're heavy. I mean, they're heavy for sure, but it's in a good way too because you put that pumpkin outside, it's not blowing off. If it's on your porch or on anything else, um, it's going to take some hefty winds to move that pumpkin. And I should honestly do more of that. I should probably just convert everybody to try to do wood clay. It's it's awesome. That's literally. I don't have anything made out of wood clay down here anymore. I made a cool pumpkin that was a giveaway thing. It was a little version of that. Oh, I got a little pumpkin around here. It's got a spider on him, and I made that and gave the original one I made was super neat and gave it away. This was one of my first experiments with wood clay. He's a little tiny dude. This was just sawdust and glue. I'm pretty sure, nothing else. It turned out pretty decent, but the recipe that I put on the channel that has the joint compound and stuff in it was better, easier to work with than what this was, and I was able to get better textures and stuff with it. But that, guys, if I'm being super honest, is that's the best. That's the best thing I've done. And for a home haunter, still, it's if you make paper clay, you can make wood clay. It's that easy, and it's cheap. Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. That's what it kind of looks like. I've done a couple with the thicker brown craft paper, and they're super strong. I've got the Lupin. I've got some of that. Man, it's right over here. I bought it a year ago, and I still look. I haven't. You know what? I've got it over here. Some of these need to get wrapped again, so I'm going to use that, and I'm going to wrap these with that. I'll do another layer of strip mache with that stuff because I need to use it, and I haven't done it yet. I've seen some recipes with guys doing using different concrete powders in their clay, and I've thought about testing some of those and making some of that too, because that would be fun too. I'm just curious if it can sand like the wood clay. Yes, Reap. Here, let me do this real quick. I'll see if I can do this. Come on. My channel, pull up videos. Okay, good. My lives are so my lives are in a different section by themselves. Awesome, because I didn't want those to come up all the time. Hello. Where you at? There's the owl. Any of you guys know I made an owl? I've got how many steps is that? 1, 2, 3. I got a 3-part video on how to make an owl out of paper mache. It was kind of fun. If you haven't seen it, you should go check it out. Let's see if I can share this. Copy. StreamYard. Paste. Yeah, there's a link right there, man. Yeah, and so that's another one. The wood clay thing I didn't know existed, and I just laying around trying to come up with other ideas for clays. And I was like, man, I bet I could replace. I was like, I wonder if I can replace toilet paper with uh, sawdust, and if that would make a workable clay. And I spent about 3 weeks playing with it until I came up with that recipe. Yeah, if you click that link, does it? I can't click the link. If I hover over that link, it just gives me an option to do that. Someone tell me if you can click the link in the chat and if it takes you to that video. You don't have to watch it. I'm just curious to know if I've wasted time putting a link on here. Okay, the link works. Okay, awesome. Cool. Good. Cool. Awesome. I've done a few of those before and I'm not sure, man. Look how deep that is. That's crazy. That's almost too much. I'm really going to build some clay up on that one. Oh, well, whatever. They're all going to be different. They're all going to have their different shapes and sizes. Let's film this going back. So I'm doing this. I'm putting these back over there. I've got this other camera over here, right? So like right now, I'm going to fire this camera back up. We're going to go back to video. Boom. Then I'm going to walk over to the table, set one pumpkin down, wait, set the other pumpkin down. And then in the video, you're going to see this whole thing where it's like no pumpkins and boop, 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 you know, that type of junk. It even filming for these things is some work. All right. And stop. Okay. Oh, what? We're 2 hours. Oh my gosh, we're almost 3 hours into this, and it's been a bunch of nothing, and you guys have been hanging out. You guys are awesome. But I am going to call it an evening, though. I honestly, for the first time, I've got a day, an actual day's worth of work tomorrow. Thank goodness, because the coffers are running dry. So I actually got to get up and work tomorrow, which will be good. And then I want to come home and work on that facade. So hopefully hopefully it'll probably be Saturday. It'll be Saturday or Sunday. That really just fall off there. Um, it'll be Saturday or Sunday. Keep your eyes out on the channel Saturday or Sunday for a video about the facade becoming bigger, because that's what I'm working on right now. 1,000 mile an hour into that. I got to get. I'm hoping by the end of this week, I've actually got the foam on all that stuff and it's skinned. So by this weekend, I can start carving all the siding into it. It takes so much time. I generally like to start building the yard in the 1st of October, and I don't know if I'll get this done until, I don't know, we'll see. Last year, I think I started the facade in the middle of August, and now this is a late run. So, yeah, new video, hopefully a new video. Yeah, though not hopefully, there will be a new video on the extension, the changing up the facade. Wherever I'm at the end of this week, there will be a video of how I got to where of that was. So look for that. I'm gonna go to bed, guys. I got a day tomorrow, and then I'm going to continue working on the facade when I get home tomorrow until I run out of daylight. So that's the plan, and then maybe I'll work on these pumpkins some more tomorrow night after I'm done with that. But gotta get this facade going on. But thanks for hanging. Thanks for hanging. We've been you guys are awesome. Awesome. 2 hours, 51 minutes, and a whole bunch of nothing tonight. Just a bunch of talking about a bunch of different crap. I hope everybody has a good night. I hope everybody has a good week. And I won't see you. Well, we'll reconvene again next Monday, but hopefully you'll see the new video Saturday or Sunday. So catch you guys later. Thanks for hanging, and I'll see you all next Monday. Have a good one.